Assalamu alaikum. Today, Wednesday, the 10th of August 2022, is the eve of the 12th of Muharram 1444. The program will begin with the recitation of the Holy Quran by Brother Muhammad Kazim Kanji. Please can we welcome him with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لن تنالوا البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون وما تنفقوا من شيء فإن الله به عليم. كل الطعام كان حلا لبني إسرائيل إلا ما حرم إسرائيل على نفسه من قبل أن تنزل التوراة. قل فأتوا بالتوراة فاتلوها إن كنتم صادقين. فمن افترى على الله الكذب من بعد ذلك فأولئك هم الظالمون. قل صدق الله. فاتبعوا ملة إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان من المشركين. إن أول بيت وضع للناس للذي ببكة مباركا وهدى للعالمين. فيه آيات بينات مقام إبراهيم ومن دخله كان آمنا. ولله على الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا ومن كفر فإن الله غني عن العالمين. قل يا أهل الكتاب لم تكفرون بآيات الله والله شهيد على ما تعملون. قل يا أهل الكتاب لم تصدون عن سبيل الله من آمن تبغونها عوجا وأنتم شهداء وما الله بغافل عما تعملون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن تطيعوا فريقا من الذين أوتوا الكتاب يردوكم بعد إيمانكم كافرين صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Asant. We will now have Marthia by Brother Mujtaba Hussain Dewji. Please can we welcome him with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Hussein, in which state should I enter Medina? How do I answer those asking where's Husseina? How do I answer those who will ask Zainab, where's your Hussein? Where is Abbas? The sun settled and the swords can't be heard clashing swords, and the river has left with its guilt not saying words, and what remained was Hussein performing his final prayer, whilst his foes surround him, deciding who'll be his slave. Which of these men lost control? Which of them has sold his soul? Which of their hearts has turned cold? Imam Hussein awaits in pain, alone without a helper. He is at peace, his heart at ease, beneath the sun without shelter. He waits for fate as he prostrates. This is the son of Haydar beneath the sun, with no one to help the son of Zahra. Surrounding him they get near, and in their hearts they hold fear. looked into his two eyes, as if they could see and hear the voice of Muhammad's cry. They looked and saw Zahra's eyes, as if they saw Hassan's light. He lay as if Haydar lies. He sheds his tears, and Zainab sees, as he lay down so helpless. Shimar approached, and he got close, and he sat down on the chest. Ya Zainab, O Mazlum, Ya Zainab, O Mazlum, Ya Zainab, O Mazlum, Ya Zainab, O Mazlum. Salawat.
Asant. We will now have the main lecture tonight, which will be given by Sheikh Miqdad Rajabali. Please can we welcome him with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين، لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين، واللعن الدائم على أعدائهم أجمعين. My respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أعظم الله أجرنا وأجركم بمصابنا بالحسين عليه السلام. We begin tonight's lecture by asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all our amal. Alhamdulillah, it was amazing to see these 10 days. Fantastic programs, fantastic setup, a lot of work coming together in a beautiful setting where we remembered Imam al-Hussein. And we have to appreciate the work of all the organizers, all the volunteers, all those who recited, all those who came and gathered over here. Don't take these things lightly. There's amazing blessings in this for a whole year to come, inshallah. The annex especially, I like to mention them because my son came back one night saying that my 7-year-old, he told his mom, I've learnt more in annex than I've learnt at school. That's a big phrase. So a lot of thanks to the individuals who are working in the annex, brothers and sisters, and all the community put together. I'd like to share a very quick story before I move on to tonight's topic, and this is Abbas Babai was the commander of the Air Force, and he comes to Imam Khomeini once and he says, I like to take leave for the 10 days of Muharram. Look how our scholars see what we do over here. Imam Khomeini asked him, why do you want to take leave? He says, during this 10 days, there is a Husayniyah in the south, one of the villages in the south, and they don't know who I am. So I usually go there, and you know the cups in which they serve tea to all the people who come to the Husayniyah? I wash those cups. That's why I do in those 10 days. Subhanallah. Look at the sincerity. Look how Imam Khomeini replies to him and says to him that, I'll give you permission, you can have leave for 10 days, but with one condition. And that is, when you go there, make the intention that you wash a few cups for me. Wash a few cups for me. So inshallah, we hope that through the sincerity and the coming all of us together to Imam al-Hussein, inshallah, we have filled our lives with barakah, and may it be accepted inshallah with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Whenever we embark in a project, a small project, a meeting, whatever it might be, at the end of it, it's very important that we bring it all together, we summarize it, and we look at the way forward. So it came to mind that tonight, I'd like to review what was discussed in the last 10 days of the month of Muharram, and inshallah suggest 6 reflections that I have over these lectures, and they might serve as way forward for us, what we can do as moving on. Alhamdulillah, we are blessed as a community to have Sheikh Salim Yusuf Ali deliver very amazing series of lecture. May Allah reward him. I heard all of them, I even took notes. The topic was about Jahiliyyah. Jahiliyyah being the period before Mab'ath, before the coming of the Prophet. And Jahiliyyah, although it means ignorance, but it means more than just ignorance in the sense of being illiterate. Jahiliyyah is this time where the ideology of the people was corrupt. It's full of doubt, full of imagination, very cut off from the reality. Morals and human dignity, human rights was not seen. And in terms of their actions, it was actions that don't befit a true human being. And when the Prophet came, he brought about change to the society. He brought about a worldview, an ideology that's so beautiful, so logical, so rational, so in line with the fitrah of the human being. Morals that were so beautiful, courage and justice, helping others, sacrifice, love of Allah, etc. Brought a society to something so beautiful. And then we saw how during the time of the Prophet and after the time of the Prophet, some parts of Jahiliyyah started to creep back into society. And the situation became so intense, leading to Karbala, that it took the event of Karbala and the Shahada of Imam al-Hussein to bring about this enlightenment all over again, to wake the people up. That look, you're going back towards Jahiliyyah. And what was done very beautifully was to look at parts and examples of Jahiliyyah in that time and to connect it with today and see and show how today we also have this Jahiliyyah called the modern Jahiliyyah. And this is something the Quran talks about as well, that we have been warned in the words of the Prophet and the Ahlul Bayt. The Jahiliyyah will come. And very interestingly, the Jahiliyyah today could be said, and scholars have spoken about this as well, the Jahiliyyah today could be said to be more intense than what it was at that time. And in many ways different as well. For example, one of the things about Jahiliyyah today is that it's very sugar-coated. It looks very nice on the outside. Very nice cars, very beautiful homes, clean roads. We have 3 bins, recycle, whatever. Looks very posh. But on the inside, you have this immorality, this injustice, this Jahiliyyah that prevails. And it was shown that if we want to come out of this Jahiliyyah, and we all do, the path is what? The path of enlightenment is the path of Imam al-Hussein. If we're able to climb on the ark of salvation, if we follow the teachings of Imam al-Hussein, then we are saved from this Jahiliyyah. And we saw how in a family setup, the relationship between our parents and spouse and children, as a community as well as an individual life. We saw how if we're able to be really enlightened by Imam al-Hussein, how we can be saved from this. And really we can, hands on heart, we can build a beautiful society. Not just over here, but generally as a British society, we can have a very positive impact. We can be the enlightenment if we really are Husseini. And so our duty first to become Husseini, and then to spread this. So this was a very, very brief overview of the topic. There's many points that were discussed, many practical points were shared, that inshallah you can refer back to those who took notes at least. And inshallah there were a lot to learn from them. For tonight I'd like to share 6 reflections on this series of lecture. And inshallah these are reflections that I have over these, what I've heard and what I learned from Sheikh Salim. And also they look at how we can take this forward. Because obviously one of the things that we want to do when we wrap up, tonight is the last night, when we wrap up this series, right, we want to see what's ahead, how we can take it forward. So inshallah I'd like to share these 6 points, and you can help me with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I sounded like him, right? The first reflection is that we realize how important it is to know our time, to know the time that we live in. So one of the things that we learned is that we need to understand our society. We need to understand the environment we live in and understand the challenges that we face, the modern challenges. If you look at the riwayat, we find that this is something very well discussed. We find in a hadith narrated by Sheikh Tusi as well as Sheikh Saduq, he says, "Ala al-aqil an yakuna arifan bi zamanihi." It's upon the aqil, the wise person, to know his time, to be arifan bi zamanihi, to know his time, to understand what's happening around him. This is very crucial. And we saw a lot in these lectures. Let me give you 2 examples of how this is important. Very small examples. Tonight I want to discuss very small examples. The first one is about Sufyan al-Thawri. He comes to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, and you've heard this story. And it says to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, when he sees him dressed in very presentable, very smart clothes, he tells Imam Sadiq that this was not the clothes of the Prophet, of your grandfather. And what does Imam Sadiq tell him? You've heard the story. He tells him that the time of the Prophet was different. The situation at the time of the Prophet was different. And the situation right now is different. And therefore my clothing, my attire is in line with the time. I understand the time. You don't understand the times. A second example. It's a hadith from Imam Hadi alayhi salam. I'm not going to analyze the hadith. I'll let you ponder upon it. I'm just going to show how important this is. He says that when the times are such that there is adalat that prevails, when there's justice that prevails, then it is haram to have su'adhan. It is haram to be suspicious, to look at things negatively. But he says, but when the situation, when the time comes, when adalat doesn't prevail, but jawr prevails, dhulm prevails, anti-religious sentiments prevails, in those situations you have to have su'adhan. You see how the Imam is explaining to us, look, know your time. Know the situation that you're living around. What is happening? What kind of culture are you living in? What is the ideology and the worldview that prevails in your society? What is the mass opinion about different things in your society? What is the economic situation during your time? Who are the leaders of society? Who are the role models of society? These things define your time, and according to that, you have to take decisions. And brothers and sisters, this is very important for our community leaders. This is very important for our youth leaders, for our madrasa teachers. You want to tell the youth about the challenges that they're facing in today's world. You want to tell them about their career. You want to tell them about spouse selection. You want to tell them about different things in their lives. You have to know the times. We have to know what times we live in. Right now, we're in the brink of a recession. Have we thought about what that means? Have we thought about what the challenges that's going to bring to us as a community and at large at the British community? That what does it mean to go through this period, inshallah, be very short, but this period where people have to work double to pay their bills and their mortgages. It means less family time. It means different things at a social level. Have we thought about these things? Do we know the times that we're coming across? On the other side, we have metaverse coming. Have we thought about that? We're entering a completely new stage in the virtual world. You thought social media and Instagram and TikTok was bad. Wait till metaverse comes home. Have you thought as a Muslim community what we're going to do when this comes home? When your child's going to come home with one of those gadgets, entering a world that's completely virtual? We need think tanks. We need Shia community to have think tanks. Look at database, look at research, propose solutions. Arifan bi zamanihi is very important, brothers and sisters. Very, very important. As a community, especially as a community like this, or perhaps we're a role model community for many communities out there, we should be thinking those lines, understanding our times. This was the first point. The second reflection, moving on, is that yes, we need to create think tanks. Yes, we need our youth to get together and understand and become arifan bi zamanihi, know our times. But we have to realize that when we want to do this, in reality, what are we trying to do? We all have our Islamic worldview, right? We want to understand the time, looking at it from an Islamic perspective, and how we can preserve our religion, how we can grow in our religion, how we can become true, perfect human beings, full of morality, full of virtues, full of knowledge. How do we preserve our deen today? To do so, we require the help of scholars. It's very logical that if we want to understand the times, but from an Islamic perspective, and suggest solutions, we require people and individuals who know the religion. People who have studied the religion in its depth. Who have gone and to the depths of the religion and the Quran and the Hadith, have studied it. And at the same time, they know their times as well. In fact, one of the characteristics of a true scholar is aliman bi zamanihi, is that he knows his time. A true scholar has studied the Quran, has studied the riwayats, has understood society, has understood history, has understood the human being and psychology. And with that, he understands his times. And then he can come and help community, be part of a community and help to build our understanding of the time. And our hadith have pointed us to this, that make sure that you have a scholar with you. Somebody who knows the religion. If you look at some of the riwayat out there, I feel scared. An alim is someone who has ihate over the deen. You know what that means? Somebody who has complete comprehension of the religion. Who is completely din shanas, as they say. Not somebody who perhaps has a specialty in just fiqh, or just philosophy, or just irfan, or just psychology. No. Somebody who understands religion in its whole. And not just that, brothers and sisters, not just that. A person who also walks the path, who has worked on himself, who when you look at him, you can see, yes, he's a person who understands the times, who has applied the religion, and who stands as a role model for us. This is very crucial. So we need to realize this. That for the waqi'ah, for the hawadith, the new things that come in our lives, we need the help and the guidance of scholars, but true scholars. Individuals who really have studied the religion and who in their morals and outside of the mimbar, the individuals you can relate to, who know and who have walked the path as well, who know what they're talking about because you can see it in them. I'll give a very quick example, following the same sunnah of the 10 nights. There's a personality by the name of Sulaiman ibn Surad. I urge you to go and look into him. He's a companion of Amir al-Mu'mineen, a companion of Imam al-Hassan. He's a Shia scholar. He's a person whom both the Sunnis and the Shias talk about him positively. They say he was a Zahid, he was an Abid. He's a scholar in whose house the Kufans got together to write the letters to Imam Hussein alayhi salam before Karbala. They came to his house. That's how, in the whole of Kufa, they came to his house. They gathered, had meetings, wrote letters to Imam Hussein. But this is a person who didn't know his time. In Karbala, you don't find him. Where was he? Where were you? Where did you go? Can't find him. Where did you find him? A couple of years later, Tawabin, the movement of Tawabin, he's amongst the leaders of the movement of Tawabin. We're going to fight against Yazid. We regret and we are sorry for what happened and we abandoned Imam al-Hussein. It's too late. Bro, it's too late. Where were you on Ashura? You weren't there. He didn't know his time. Didn't understand what was happening. A scholar who didn't, if you look back at his history as well, you'll find points. A scholar who was not well versed. A scholar who didn't apply what he was supposed to be doing. A scholar who lacked. The third reflection on these lectures is this. A question. Let me start with a question. Something I ask myself as well. And I find sometimes people are confused as well. Are these 10 series of lectures, these 10 lectures that we went through, are they there to teach us or are they there to inspire us? Have you thought about that? When you come over here for 10 days, and most speakers out there, if you look around, you'll see they've chosen a very amazing title, or a title for every lecture as well. The question is this, are we coming to learn, or are we coming to be inspired? If you're coming to be inspired only, then you see this is not really what's happening. Many of us don't really just want to be inspired. Yes, Mu'adh has its place, being motivated has its place, and some parts of the lectures are there to motivate, yes, for sure. But most of us are looking for something new. We're looking for a new understanding, a new perspective. Teach me something new. Most youth are like that. We come to these lectures, teach me something new, something practical, something I can take home. But at the same time, we're fooling ourselves if we think we can dissect a topic in its depth in 50 minutes. You can't do that. You're fooling the people if you say that. You can't. You can't teach in a series of 10 lectures any topic. It's not possible. The ground is not there for that. It's not a classroom. People are not taking out their notebooks. If they are, they're coloring. Just joking. No, nobody over here has taken out their notebooks, write notes about the different names, about the different dates, about the different verses of the Quran, about the different riwayat. Can I think about it, reflect upon it? You can't. Let me tell you something back scene. I'm also somebody who prepares lectures, right? So what happens behind the scenes? When I prepare my lectures, this is one of the biggest challenges I have. So how do you kind of balance between teaching something new as well as being inspiring? And one of the things that I do, at least, is that you give what we call sar-e-nakh. This is a term that my teachers used to use in our classes. Say, look, I'll give you the end of the rope. You grab it. I'll give you points. I'll give you hadith. But they're just the end of the rope. It's for you then to grab the rope and then climb your way up. Climb your way up. I'll give you those points. Here you go. 2, 3, 4, 5 in every lecture. But they're just the end of the rope. For many, we'll take it. Alhamdulillah, it's good. We satisfy ourselves with it. But for those who want more, it's just the end of the rope. Take it, use it to make your way up. But if that's the case, then we need to do something after these lectures. And this is my reflection for this third point, is that we need to educate ourselves. I cannot emphasize this enough. And you saw how much knowledge was given to us in these 10 days, but we need to take it a step further. Brothers and sisters, we need to be learning. We need to be learning about our religion. I'm not going to give you all the hadith out there. You all know about this. I'm going to mention 2 points over here. The first point is this, that the world we live in today, we're talking about knowing our time. Let me give you another point about modernity. The world we live in today is a world of information. I use the word information as opposed and not using the word knowledge. It's the world of information. We are bombarded, literally bombarded with information. This is the times we live in. Bombardment of information. If that was it, then I would have told you that we have to be able to be clever, to pick the right information, and to make our way through. But what's worse is that not only are we bombarded with information, but we're bombarded with a particular type of information. We're bombarded with an information in a specific perspective. And the rest of the information is hidden from us. Or we have to take a step further to know about it, which most of us don't. The way we scroll on our phones. This is the world we live in today. I'm describing you the world of today. The information is selected. You know, when Ofcom banned RT News, this was just a tip of the iceberg that just got revealed to us. Oh my God, you really are filtering what we know? And they were clear about it. Yes, we're filtering what you know because that's giving you another information that we don't want you to know. That's what they said, right? But this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much out there. There's so much out there. You know, one thing that most of you might not know about is how to use Google Advanced Search. We're all very amazing at Google. And I've said this often. Whenever you have information you look at, the first thing we do is open Google. Then we have keywords. Then we open the first link, which is Wikipedia. And then even that, we only read the first line. That's usually what we do. Have you tried Google Advanced? I've tried. You type one word or two words that you're looking at, and you go to Google Advanced and you change the region in which you want to look into. It's very strange. You'll get different information according to the region you choose. We're bombarded by information, but we're bombarded by selected information. Public opinion is very important. Mass opinion is very important for today. And therefore it's directed in a particular direction. So what do we need to do? 2 things. One, we need to be clever. We need to be wise. We need to be selective. In one of the hadith we find that the Imam says that it's very surprising. The Imam says it's very surprising. Ajabun. That when you go and look for your provision, look for your food, if you're like me, whenever you pick up something from Tesco's or Asda, the first thing you do is what? You look around, ingredients. Suitable vegetarian? Ingredients, look, is it good? And then you look, is it free from artificial coloring and artificial flavoring and whatnot, right? That's what we do, right? You're so careful about what we eat. The Imam says it's very ajib that people are so careful about what they eat, but they're not careful about the food of their soul. We're not careful. How many self-help books have you read randomly? How many scholars have you listened to randomly? Are we careful? We don't eat anything randomly. Milk stays in the fridge for 2 weeks. You first smell it before you have it. Is it gone bad or not? When it comes to books, when it comes to lectures, we have to be careful. 5th reflection. That is that one of the things that we realized in this series of lectures was that solution for our problems, and we saw how many challenges that we have in today's world. Solutions for these challenges are found in our religion. They're found in our religion. They're found in the Holy Quran and the Ahlul Bayt. We firmly believe this, and we saw it. Again, so very little of it. It's very difficult to expand on so much in 10 days. But you realize how much the religion has to offer for us, for modern challenges. This is very, very important. So firstly, as I mentioned the first few points, that we need to go and learn about this. We need to go and explore the Quran. We need to go and explore those books out there. We need to get in touch with the scholars out there. Those scholars which suggest for us solution for modern challenges, solution for modernity. But another thing that we need to do, and this is the reflection, the fifth reflection, is this, that we need to spread it to others. It is our duty, and I like to call it this way, it is our battle. We claim and we say, Labbaik ya Ibn Zahra, we say, Labbaik ya Hussein. You won't tell the Imam that I am your soldier, I'm there. Then our battle today is to do tabyin, is to explain the religion to others. We're losing on this battle. The battles in the war front, they're not our battles. Our battles over here today is a battle where we need to explain our religion. Don't keep it to yourself. You go out there, whether it's at work, at university, in the different ABSOCs and ISOCs that we have out there, in the different social media platforms that you are involved in. And so, mashallah, I've seen a lot as well, at least a few of them from this community, so active in social media. It's very good, but it's very little. We need more. We need to take these beautiful, lofty teachings of Islam and spread it out to the community at large. Because we claim to have the answers, right? Don't we? We do. Say yes. Yes, we do. We claim to have the answers. Then not only should we be looking outside, first point, we shouldn't be looking outside. We should be looking, it's like the person, I don't know if it's happened to you, for those who are wearing glasses, when you're looking for glasses all across your house and it's sitting on your nose, right? It's very annoying. But you look very, very embarrassing, right, as well, right? We're the same sometimes. This self-help book to that self-help book, this documentary to that document, you're going left, right, center, and you're sitting on it. It's in the Quran, it's in the riwayat, it's in the words of the scholars. فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ? Where are you going? But secondly is I want to tell others as well. People today are very thirsty. Let me give you another point about today. Modernity in today's society, one of the characteristics of it is that because of the intensity of materialism and because of the intensity of how much we've gone into the virtual world, people are thirsty for spirituality. I'm not talking about Muslims, I'm talking about generally. This is today's world. Arifan bizamanihi. You find that people are thirsty for answers. Tell me something. Tell me something about human virtue. Tell me something about the purpose of life. Tell me something how I can sort out my family. Tell me these answers. Very simple, small things. And we have the answers. Why are we being stingy? Go out then explain. Explain a beautiful way. Using the same social media, the same tools out there, but reverse it. Use it for the right purpose. One of the things I tell the youth, or when the mothers and the fathers come and say, my child spends too much time on social media or on the screen, I say, one of the ways you can do is that turn it around, tell them to use it for a better way. Let them get involved. It doesn't take much to learn how to video edit. It doesn't take much to learn how to program and make animations. You get plenty of free online courses. Our youth should know how to program, know programming, they should know how to video edit, they should know how to make animations. It's very simple. And then you boost them with a lot of content, and here we go, we've got a beautiful tabyin happening of the religion. We need to share with others. Two last points. And perhaps these are the two most important ones. Number 6 reflection is this. Put everything on one side. Everything I'll discuss on one side. There's something that we need to have concern for. And this is taqwa. This is to stay away from sins. This is to take care of our actions. Brothers and sisters, everything that we heard, everything, A to Z, put it on one side. If we're not careful of our actions, it's pointless. Number one answer, when people ask, what can I do with everything I learned in the 10 days of Muharram, is act upon it. Al-ilmu yahtifu bil-amal. Ilm calls out to amal. When ilm comes to you, when you know something new, you feel inspired, you walk out of the majlis learning how something new, ilm calls out. Amal, where are you? Are you coming? Are you following? The hadith says, if amal comes, if action comes, then ilm stays. Otherwise, ilm goes away. How many times have we come back after Muharram? We don't remember too much what happened. A few months ago, 10 lectures, I don't remember much. I remember going through some of my notes of the lectures and I was like, did he really say this? I had no clue. I didn't remember. We don't act upon it, it's not going to go anywhere. Now, let me give you something important. When we talk about staying away from sins, when we talk about having taqwa, when we talk about muraqabah, one key thing that we're talking about is to have something we call, in Farsi we call it daghdaghe, is to have a concern for it. You know when you have, for those who haven't had an interview yet, if you apply for a job, you get an interview, your first interview. Or those who have very important meetings. Monday at 3 p.m. you have a meeting, you have your first interview. The whole week you're concerned, it plays at the back of your mind, right? You're going out with the mates, having a cup of coffee, you're talking and everything, but the back of your mind is this. You're in the shower, suddenly you surprise yourself, you're talking to yourself in the shower, practicing the interview. What's happening? It's in the back of your mind. You've got this concern throughout the week. Now, you can't live like that when it comes to meetings and interviews. It's very stressful, it's anxiety. But when it comes to remembering our actions and what we're doing, is it right or wrong in relation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is dhikr. Ala bi dhikrillah tatma'innul qulub. This concern is dhikr. This concern that, am I doing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? Am I being attached to the world over here? Am I lying? Am I being respectful? Is this halal? Is this haram? This concern that I have, it's inside. You can't see it. It's inside you. But this concern is very beautiful. This concern is dhikr. This concern is what dhikr is. But this dhikr, this concern is not something that will give you stress. It's not something that will give you anxiety. It actually will give you itminan. It will give you this tranquility inside. But we need to have that. We need to build that. Until we don't count this as important, we won't gain this. That interview is very important. That meeting is very important. That's what I'm concerned about. We have to make staying away from sins priority number one in our lives. If I make priority number one in my life to stay away from sins, I have this concern, then inshallah I'll be able to do it. And lastly, before I move on to Masaib, the last reflection is this. That if we want to take this forward, we want to take this enlightenment forward, we need to be connected to our Imam. I take you back to yesterday. You know, yesterday when you were crying, weeping, feeling very sad of what happened to Imam Hussein. And you were cursing the enemy. It's like, how did you dare to do this to my Imam? And then you were, in the midst of this cry, you were telling Imam Hussein, if I was there, I would have sacrificed. I'm going to be your obedient servant. In your mind, these thoughts were passing that I want to be your obedient servant. I don't want to do anything that hurts you. We need to keep that going. We need to keep that feeling going. And that is what? That is that true wilayah which comes with submission to the Imam. One of the things that we need to do, at least for 40 days, from now till Arba'in, is to recite Ziyarah of Imam Hussein. Even if it's a short part, the short 3 lines, or part of Ziyarat Ashura, or part of any Ziyarat, daily, spend a few minutes with the Imam. But spend it like this. Tell the Imam that I want to be that submissive companion of yours. You tell me what to do. This wilayah of the Ahlul Bayt is not just a historical thing. In the Quran, wilayah is a continuous thing. It takes you from light to darkness, from darkness to light continuously, if you are under the wilayah. To come under the wilayah, we need the submission. And if you look at the verse, it's very beautiful. لا يؤمنون حتى, you won't believe until what? Until you submit to the wali, not just in salat and fasting, but in everything in your life. When the Prophet gives a judgment related to your disputes, submit to the deen. Then you'll believe. So we need to come and submit to our Imam and build that. So as much as we can, we, on a daily basis, try and work on this. Try and work on the ziyarah to increase our relationship with the Ahlul Bayt. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله. Take your hands to Karbala. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله. Tonight I want to recall 3 events of Karbala, but I want to do this in the eyes of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. 3 incidents reported by Imam Sajjad. Look at how Imam Sajjad sees Karbala. Subhanallah. 35 years he remembered what happened on that day. The first event from the eyes of Imam Sajjad is on the night of Ashura. قال علي بن الحسين إني لجالس في تلك العشية. On that night I was sitting in my tent. وعندي عمتي زينب تمرضني. And next to me was Zainab salamullah alayha, and she was taking care of me. Imam Sajjad was ill. Baby Zainab is taking care of her nephew. At some point my father comes outside of the tent and he starts to recite some lines of poetry. This is Imam preparing his family on what's going to happen tomorrow. يا دهر أف لك من خليل كم لك بالإشراق والأصيل. He says, I understood, Imam Sajjad says, I understood what the Imam was telling us. I understood what my father was saying. He was preparing us for the next day. He was telling us that we are going to leave you and attain Shahada. He says, I had a lump in my throat, but I controlled my tears and I didn't say anything. I became really sad, but I controlled myself. However, my aunt Zainab, she too understood what was happening. An intense grief overcame her. She said, Oh Aba Abdullah, I wish I hadn't seen this day. Al-yawm matat ummi Fatima. Today my mother Fatima has died. Wa Abi Ali, and my father today has died. Wa Akhil Hassan, and my brother today has died. Aba Abdullah comes inside. He comes close to Zainab salamullah alayha. Ya ukhta, oh my sister, what a beautiful scene between a brother and a sister. So much love, so much beauty in this. He says, Ya ukhayya, oh my sister. With such love he prepares the heart of Zainab. He says, look, my father was better than me and he too died. My mother was better than me and she too had to go. Oh Zainab, remain patient after me. Oh Zainab, there's a lot that will come your way. Oh Zainab, you will see many things after me. Zainab is being prepared. She acquires this strength, this ability and this patience to bear what will come. This was what happened on the night of Ashura. Now I take you to what happened on the day of Ashura and on Sham-e Ghariba. Again, in the saying of Imam al-Sajjad, this is in Kufa. Imam is addressing the people of Kufa, and look how he recalls what happened on that day. He says, أنا علي بن الحسين المذبوح بشت الفرات. I am the one who was slain by the Euphrates. أنا ابن من انتهك حريمه. I am the one whose family's respect was taken away. After the event of Ashura, the army of Yazid came towards the camp of Imam al-Hussein. There were innocent women and children in that camp. Abbas wasn't there to protect them. Ali Akbar wasn't there to protect them. Look at what Shimr says. Shimr tells his army, go and take whatever you want. Imam Sajjad says, Ana وَسُلِبَ نَعِيمُهُ. I am the son of the one whose things were stolen and taken from them. وَانْتُهِبَ مَالُهُ, and whose possession was snatched from them. How were they snatched? Do you know how they were snatched? They were so greedy, these people, that they would come to the women of Imam al-Hussein and they would snatch their earrings from their ears until blood will come out. Allah, Allah, this is the family of the Prophet. وَسُبِيَ عِيَالُهُ. I am the son of the one whose family was taken as a captive. And then the Imam mentions one point. This is very, very heartbreaking, brothers and sisters. Look at how Imam Sajjad recalls what happened on that day on Ashura. On that afternoon, what happened to Imam al-Hussein. He says, أَنَا ابْنُ مَنْ قُتِلَ صَبْرًا. I am the son of the one who was killed slowly. Allah, Allah, let not your tears dry on a night like tonight. Tonight is the last night of this Ashra. May Allah not dry our tears. Man qutila sabra. Let's come to the 11th of Muharram now. Now, lend this one last narration from Imam Sajjad. Sayyid ibn Tawuz says, brothers and sisters, when out the day after Ashura, everything happened. Sayyid ibn Tawuz says that the enemy were going to take Imam Sayyidah Zainab and Imam Sajjad and the women of the Ahlul Bayt as captives, as prisoners of war. A request comes from the family, allow us to pay our respect one more last time to the bodies of our family. Allah, Allah, you know when somebody dies in your family, may Allah protect our family. When somebody dies in our family, a lot of emotions, a lot of tears. But then people come to condole you. The body goes for ghusl and kafan, and the night comes. And then the next day, you come to mosque and the body is brought. When the body of your beloved is brought, again the emotions come back. Everything that you remembered about your beloved comes back in your memory. Allah, Allah, this is that moment when Zainab and Rabab are taken to the battlefield. When Imam Sajjad is taken to the battlefield again one last time. Look at how Imam Sajjad describes this. He says, فَإِنَّهُ لَمَّا أَصَابَنَا بِالطَّافِ. When they took the caravan towards the battlefield, and the women were sitting on the backs of the camel without any saddle, فَجَعَلْتُ أَنْظُرُ إِلَيْهِمْ صَرْعًا. I was looking at the bodies of my father and my uncle and my brother. The bodies were just lying there on the plains of Karbala. Imam Sajjad says, فَعَظُمَ ذَلِكَ فِي صَدْرِي. This was very hard on me. This was very heavy on me. فَكَادَتْ نَفْسِي تَخْرُجُ. It was so heavy. My soul was about to leave me. Guess who comes at this time? At this moment, Zainab sees the state of her nephew. She realized what's happening to me. فَقَالَتْ مَا لِي أَرَاكَ. She says to me, what has happened to you? تَجُودُ بِنَفْسِكَ يَا بَقِيَّةَ جَدِّي وَأَبِي وَإِخْوَتِي. May my life be sacrificed. You are the baqiyah of our father and our grandfather. Zainab is giving condolences to the Imam, subhanallah. Zainab, in those intense moments, that one person that you find in throughout the journey of Karbala, in those intense moments is Zainab, salamullah alayha. What a heart she has. The Imam turns to Zainab, وَكَيْفَ لَا أَجْزَعُ. How can I not feel this intense pain and grief? وَقَدْ أَرَى سَيِّدِي وَإِخْوَتِي وَأُمُومَتِي وَوُلْدَ عَمِّي وَأَهْلِي مُسْرَعِينَ. I am seeing the bodies of my family members lying there. بِدِمَائِهِمْ مُرَمَّلِينَ. They are covered in their blood. وَلَا يُكَفَّنُونَ. And no coffin is given to them. Does anyone know who they are? Does anyone know who these people are? Matami Hussein.
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein Tharallah, Aba Abdillah, Hussein Tharallah, Aba Abdillah, Hussein Sarallah, Aba Abdillah, Hussein Sarallah, Abdillah. या हुसैन तेरा गम दिल पर मेरा है रकम या हुसैन मुझ पर रब का है करम या हुसैन तस्बीह दिल या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन ये मेरा दिल नहीं ये है करबला ये मेरा दिल नहीं ये है करबला गरीब करबला दिल की है सदा हुसैन सारल्लाह हुसैन सारल्लाह अबाब दिल्ला हुसैन सारल्लाह अबाब दिल्ला हुसैन सारल्लाह अबाब दिल्ला हुसैन सारल्लाह अब्दुल्ला मनाई हमें गम अरबाब अरबाब बरम बहरम अरबाब अरबाब बरम बहरम अरबाब अरबाब वाय 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 नफस नफस मान शेर गम तो बस नफस मान शेर गम तो इंशाल्लाह बिबराम तो हराम तो हुसैन तारल्लाह हुसैन तारल्लाह दिल्ला हुसैन तारल्लाह अबाब दिल्ला करबला और मैं सामना मौला सर पर गाजी कालम हर कदम मौला मौला या हुसैन है मेरे आरज़ू जुस्तजू आरज़ू जुस्तजू है मेरे आरज़ू मेरे जुस्तजू है मेरे आरज़ू मेरे जुस्तजू हुसैन तारल्लाह हुसैन तारल्लाह अबाब दिल्ला हुसैन तारल्लाह अबाब दिल्ला ऐ बाबा जानम ऐ बाबा जानम ऐ बाबा जानम ऐ बाबा जानम ऐ बाबा जान Ay Baba Janam, when Hussein died in Karbala, Zahra watched with tears in her eyes. How could they kill a young child? Asghar did not commit a crime. When they burnt the tennis of Zainab, it reminded her of that night, the night where her house was attacked. And her unborn child murdered. Ay Baba Janam, ay Baba Janam, ay Baba Janam, ay Baba Janam, ay Baba Janam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Namaz time is at 8:44 in 2 minutes, so please prepare for Salah.
إن الله ملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وأولاده المأسومين حجج الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده الله أكبر بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر
سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أسألك موجبات رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك والنجاة من النار ومن كل بلية، والفوز بالجنة والرضوان في دار السلام، وجوار نبيك محمد عليه وآله السلام. اللهم ما بنا من نعمة فمنك، لا إله إلا أنت، أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
الله أكبر الله أكبر، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله، أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وأولاده المعصومين حجج الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح، حي على خير العمل، حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد، الله الصمد، لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده، سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد، الله الصمد، لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا، وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده، سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إنه ليس لي علم بموضع رزقي وإنما أطلبه بخطرات تخطر على قلبي فأجول في طلبه البلدان فأنا فيما أنا طالب كالحيران لا أدري أفي سهل هو أم في جبل أم في أرض أم في سماء أم في بر أم في بحر وعلى يدي من ومن قبل من وقد علمت أن علمه عندك وأسبابه بيدك وأنت الذي تقسمه بلطفك وتسببه برحمتك اللهم فصل على محمد وآله واجعل يا ربي رزقك لي واسعا ومطلبه سهلا ومأخذه قريبا ولا تعنني بطلب ما لم تقدر لي فيه رزقا فإنك غني عن عذابي وأنا فقير إلى رحمتك فصل على محمد وآله وجد على عبدك بفضلك إنك ذو فضل عظيم.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء، السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذريتك، علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن، أجر الله فرجا وسهل الله مخرجا وظهورا، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. Brothers, the announcements for tonight are as follows. We've received some sad news. Marhum Qasim Ali Muhammad Hussain Surati of Mumbai passed away yesterday and was buried today. Please recite Namaz Washa to Hadi al-Mayyat. Thursday, 11th August, the Jumerat program will start at 8 p.m. with Surah Yasin. Majlis in English will be by Sheikh Nabil Awan. Friday, 12th August, the Jummah khutbah will begin at 1:11 p.m. by Sheikh Miqdad Rajabali. The ladies' yard team are inshallah holding their annual Shab-e Pursa program on Friday the 26th of August starting at 7 p.m. with Niyaz. The guest reciters include the Hashim sisters, Rahmani sisters, Fatima Ladak, Fatima Damani and our very own yard students. Please attend in large numbers. Recitation requests can be emailed to recite@hujjat.org and the Muharram Niyaz Fund is open. Please donate generously at the Treasury desk.